One last thing you can do for tenons on the router table is to make the little connectors for our floating tenon joint. So back in the router box, we've made the two mortises we need, but we have to manufacture this little piece that connects the two. It's called a loose tenon or a floating tenon or a slip tenon. The process starts by manufacturing some stock that's been milled to the exact thickness of that mortise. Then once you have that, I rip it on the table saw to its width, and then with that rip to width, we can now come and set the router table up with a round over bit to radius the four corners to give us that round over stock that we need. I'm doing this in a longer format so it's safe. It's much easier to deal with this on the router table than it is something this size. And let me show you how I set it up. Using this oversized cutter as an example, what I want is to get that radius so it's just diving out at the tabletop. So the protrusion of the cutter terminus is when that wing is just hopefully in line with the tabletop. Then the next thing I'll do is bring the fence over so the fence can be in line with this bearing up on the top of the shaft. So to do that, slide the fence over, put my straight edge right on the bearing, snug up one knob, and then I can micro adjust if need be. So that bearing should just spin when the ruler rides against the fence. So that looks great. And now on a little end of the stock, I'll run and I'll see how high that wing is. I'm going to make 4 passes, and that will leave me the stock that I need. So that fit is just what I want. Now the next thing I need to think about is cutting them to length. The way I like to do that is on my bandsaw. It just feels a lot safer to me than having little things popping next to the table saw blade. So trimmed on the bandsaw, and then I'll take and chamfer the ends with a sandpaper or chisel, or you can do it on a disc sander if you have one. And then that just helps it load into its mate that it's going to be seating into. And that's all there is to making those.